We've got some good ones for you today in the transfer rater. We're going to start with Arsenal needing to raise funds. Well, that's the rumour. Alex Lacazette to go to Atletico Madrid in the wake of Griezmann leaving the club.
That makes absolutely no sense to me from an Arsenal perspective. I'm going to do this from the perspective of the selling club.
Right.
Listen, if you're Atletico Madrid, I think it makes perfect sense. You're looking for that striker linked with Gonzalo Higuain early in the week or last week, which made a whole lot less sense. But from an Arsenal perspective, I don't like this at all. I think Lacazette and Aubameyang have a nice understanding. If you find a way to either play them both together or get them to understand the rotation policy and buy into that, I think without question you keep hold of Lacazette.
It would be a nonsensical signal to send to the fans as well, wouldn't it? Ayoze Perez to Leicester. They've bid 30 million.
Again, from the selling club, Ayoze Perez, the leading scorer last season. I don't know why that's what you do. Listen, there are a lot of questions I have about Newcastle United right now. No manager. I continue to have questions about the ownership. From a player perspective, you don't know the direction this club is going in. If Ayoze Perez, you can understand if he's interested by that move to Leicester, far more stable. If you're Leicester, similarly, I understand why you're interested in talent such as Ayoze Perez. But if you're Newcastle United, if you want to continue competing in the Premier League, I don't know why you sell your leading scorer. Not right now.
It's just it, isn't it? Mike Ashley has to have that mindset of how much he can skin the club and still tread water in the Premier League.
That's another topic for a whole different day. Don't get me started on that.
All right, okay. Let's move on to a player who clearly wants to leave West Ham.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this one. Listen, if Arnautovic is happy to stay, I am happy to keep him. But all the noises coming from him, listen, well, certainly in January, he was desperate to leave. Then once the window closed and that whole China option seemed to blur slightly. In fairness to him, he made all the right noises. But if he comes knocking on your door again to say, listen, I want to go, I think you figure out a way how to get him out at the price that you want or need and how to replace him. You can keep a player who wants to leave on your books for 6 months. I don't think you can do it for 18 if the assumption is that West Ham keeps him for another year.
Poor West Ham, this keeps happening to them as well.
Yeah.
Okay, John Stones to leave Manchester City, of course, wants a £50 million signing.
Yeah, I mean, this is a hit. I don't know that needs any kind of explanation, in all honesty. It just hasn't lived up to expectation, no longer features in your plans. Whatever you get for it, you take.
Oh, okay. Saul to Manchester United. Of course, Atletico Madrid close to losing Rodri to Manchester City, who've activated the buyout clause as we speak.
Yeah, and for that reason, from Atletico Madrid's perspective, this doesn't make any kind of sense to me at all. Not right now, not until you can figure out who comes in. And even so, are you going to be making wholesale changes this summer? It's a long transfer window still to go yet, a lot of time to play out. We'll see how that works out. Before I make my pick here, I will say, if you're Manchester United and if you can somehow convince Saul to leave Atletico with all that they've done, with Champions League football to come to Old Trafford, that is brilliant business on your part. Incredible talent, Saul. And at the age that Manchester United will be looking at players. But again, I'm looking at this from the selling club. Right now, that doesn't make any kind of sense to Atletico Madrid to let Saul go.
Okay, so keep your money, or at least keep your players from the selling club's
You've got a lot this week.
Although John Stones, he'll leave, as you said.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what did I put that over there for? I'm going to move that over here. John, he wants to stay.
Decisions.